Welcome back to WC Bricks for another episode of Building Gotham City in Lego. Last week we rearranged the entire city and I moved the raised platform over to the centre of the table as opposed to over the far side there. I put a tunnel going through the centre where the main road is going to be going, and Wayne Tower is going to be sitting on the top of it. I'm going to start this week off by working on the tunnel there. I need to put the roof on it, the support structure, so it can take the weight of Wayne Tower, and also get all of the pavements tiled off and the lights all ready to be plugged in. So that's what we're going to start off on, and then hopefully after that I'll be able to concentrate on the areas outside of the shops there. I want to work out what I'm going to do exactly on there. I do want to have it so it's pedestrianised, but I want to have a water section of some description in there, and also eventually there will be trees and things like that. So let's start off. Let's move that base plate over there with the tunnel section, and let's get started on that. Here is the tunnel all tiled off. Both the sidewalks have been done. I've gone for a light tan on the inside the tunnel, as I don't have a great deal of the light bluish grey. I've got so much tan, which I'm not really going to use. So in a place where you're not going to see that much of it, I thought I'd just tile in there. However, one thing I have decided to do is shrink the side of these sidewalks to 6 studs as opposed to 7 on each side. So it's going to enable me to make the road 2 studs wider, which will then enable me to put 8 wide vehicles on here as opposed to 6. Now, I was originally going for 6 wide vehicles purely because I think the smaller the vehicle, the bigger it's going to make the city feel. However, I just think that I might as well have the roads a little bit wider anyway. The reason I was also going for smaller roads originally was because I was not going to be putting the roads on individual base plates. They were going to be partly on the base plates where the buildings were. However, it's all changed now, and a base plate or a mills plate is going to have a whole road section on, as you would have in most modular cities. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly strip back the pavement areas and reduce them by 1. It's not going to be that hard to do because I've gone for a 4 wide plate at the back, then a 1 wide plate, and then a 2. So all I need to do is take that 1 row of plates out in there and then move it all over and then just sort the tiles out on top. So it's literally going to be a 2-minute job. So let's get that all changed, and then we can make a start on sorting the roof section out. And there it is, all in place. And I quite like the way that the tiles around the archway are in the light bluish grey as opposed to the dark bluish. So it's a very similar style to the side passengers there. However, the changing colour, I think, finishes that off quite nicely. So next up, let's remove one of these base plates and let's get started. Here is the revised section for going outside of the shops, bars and restaurants. I'm not sure if I've made this water section here a little bit too low. I might just raise it up and see how it looks. But really pleased with using the teal colour in here with the trans blue tiles over the top. I think it's a nice colour that it comes out with. So I'm going to amend that on there. One other thing I do need to amend are these pillars. Now I'm going to make another one of these sections, but it's going to be a mirror image of it, so the steps will be over that side, so they join together. However, if I do exactly as I've done this one, I'm going to have two pillars right next to each other, which isn't going to look right. So I just need to work out the spacing on those, get that amended before I do the next section across. Now with the tiles on here, as you can see, it's just the light bluish grey at the moment. I am likely to change a few of these out and put more details in here. However, what I want to do is wait till I've got all of the shop fronts all done. So if, for example, it's a restaurant or a bar, there might be tables and chairs outside. So I don't want to change the tile effect, put the table and chairs in there, and then it just looks too much. So I'll wait till I've done those details and then I'll make that decision. It's so easy to change the tiles over. There's no necessity to worry about it right now. So let's get the other one of these made up, amend the water section on here, and then I'll check back in and show you what the two of them look like side by side. And there are the two sections outside of the shops, and really pleased with how they're looking. I think it looks a lot better now I've raised the water section in there, and I'm considering using these arch pieces just here to go in between those pillars. I think they'll look really good. I'll get this part here as high up as I can go to the part that I connect onto those art plates. What I'm going to do next is sort this Mills plate out here. I need to shrink the curb by 1 stud, so it's only, the curbs are only 6 wide, so that will be matching the section just under the tunnel. So I want all the rows to be the same, and I will obviously at some stage have to do that part under there as well. So let's make those amendments to that, and then once we've done that, we'll start on something else. And there are the arches all in place, and really liking the look of it. It does hide the shops a little bit, but I'm not that worried about it, as I feel it makes you peer into it and looking for the details that little bit more. Now, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to change this from 2 Mills plates into 1 large Mills plate. And the reason for that is this arch is obviously spanning over the 2 Mills plates on there. So when it comes to moving this mock around, if I ever have to move it, I'm going to have to actually dismantle this section just here in order to move everything. So I think it'd be a lot easier if I make it as 1 Mills plate, make this part of the raised platform all one, and then I can just peel that off and in one section, and it'd be a lot easier to move around. The other thing I've got to do as well, or I'm going to do, is where I've reduced the size of the pavement here to 6 studs. I want to put a 6x1 or an 8x1 along the edge of the road, as you would expect to see on a curb. And then the tiles here, I'm going to actually join over, so it's going to keep the 2 base plates together. Because at the moment, I've got a choice of either putting another 1x8 or 1x6 or 1x2s. And I just think it'll look a lot better if they're all 2x2s going all the way across there. So again, that's just another slight amendment I'm going to make to the mock. So let's take this back to the mock table, make those amendments to it, and then carry on working on this section just here. I've started replicating the section that's outside the front of the shops over here for the other side. However, I've run out of tiles, so I need to order in, I'm going to need to order in thousands of the 2x2 and light bluish grey for Gotham City. However, that's as far as I can get, but it is all on 1 Mills plate, as is the one at the back there now. So I'm just going to move these over to the city and show you what it's looking like. And there are the 2 sections all in place. Just goes to show how much different it looks once it's all tiled off. This side looks so much better than the other side. And as I mentioned, I'm going to need to order in thousands upon thousands of these 2x2 light bluish grey tiles for this city. I think it was about 800 odd I ordered last time, and they've just gone nowhere. Still got to decide how I'm going to be doing this platform area coming out on here. I want to make sure that it's got details at the top of each of the columns there. I'm probably going to put a snot brick in and then put some sort of tile effect on there just to add some details and give it a little bit of a gothic look and feel to that. Once I've got all of this raised platform or this front section all worked out, then I'll be able to sort of like start planning what's going on top of it with the train station. But obviously before I can do that, I need to concentrate on getting the shops done. And that's the support structure all in place for this section of the mock. I've used some Technic beams and then the rectangular Technic bricks as well. Numerous Technic pins keeping it all in place. Now this is all a large section, which is going to make it a lot easier if I do have to move the mock. And again, in here, as you see, I've put some of the inverted slopes, and that's just helping with the support of there. There's some 2x4 bricks as well, so this does feel nice and sturdy. So if I do need to move this at all, this plate is obviously one section, and then I can just keep this here, and it's going to be a lot easier than having to break this up just to move it further down the line. I'm really pleased with how this section is starting to come along, and I can't wait to get the other side sorted out as well. One thing I do need to try and work out is what I'm going to do for the section that's just going to be going over there. I do need to still have the raised platform extending out over that part. However, there's not an arch piece which is wide long enough that's going to go all the way over. So whether I use a couple of the different sort of like curved sizes, I'm not sure. I don't want to put a pillar in the middle of the road. I'm sure I'll come up with some solution for that. But yeah, really happy with the progress managed to get made this week. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. Hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And please share it with your family and friends. Anyway, thanks for walking on by. See you next time. Bye for now.